Good afternoon, people. Just getting things set up real quick. I don't expect this to be too long of a stream, but this is something I really wanted to talk about. And yeah, it's a bit of a hot topic right now, of course. I'm sure you've all heard of it. I'm going to try to be fair here. But we are going to talk about our good friend, not so much, Jake Davison, the infamous incel. And it's not going to be as much about him as much as it is about the black pill. Now, I'm going to get some haters for this. I fully expect that. But I have always had the same opinion. I'm just going to turn myself off then. We'll just cover the article. I don't feel like messing with that. We got a couple of articles, and we also happen to have someone archived Davison's subscriptions, which I find interesting in more than one way. So let's go over what happened. So again, I always take the mainstream media and what they put out with a large grain of salt. Okay. But let's suppose this happened. Yeah, the male who followed in Elliot Rodgers' footsteps. A little bit different, but yeah, you know, similar concept. So let's have a look-see at what this guy did. And I'm going to disagree with the media about a couple of things, but I digress. All right. Apparently this happened in Plymouth in the UK, where gun violence, air fingers quote, doesn't happen that often. I think it happens more often over there than they would like to admit, but that's neither here nor there. And, you know, they're a bit different than the US. You Americans know that, my fellow Americans. I would like to see this, but apparently he did an unscripted rant on YouTube, which was probably like his little manifesto. And this is our hero here. This, first of all, man, I mean, you need a haircut, bro. You know, again, this is, I'm trying not to be angry because of what this guy did, which we'll get to. This apparently happened pretty recently, within the past 2 weeks. Okay, yeah, 2 weeks ago. He shot 5 people, including himself. Earlier this year, this is interesting. Earlier this year, authorities in the U.S. warned that attacks linked to the incel movement were on the increase, as authorities around the world have begun to treat the ideology as a more serious terrorism threat. So, when I say this to you black pill guys, I'm not just saying it to be critical of your philosophy, if you will. I'm saying it also for your own good. All right, keep that in mind, because this is the thing. This is what they're going to push. That being said, your philosophy is a little toxic. He is on incel forums, which we'll look at the YouTube channels in which he was on. You guys, you black pill guys, are going to recognize that. You're going to recognize some of those channels. I'm sure you're probably more familiar with this story than I am, actually, because some of these people have bombarded that guy's channel, and they're right to be angry and disgusted. What this freak show did, yeah, I mean, I'm so aggravated by him, not at you black pill guys, but just by this individual. Because I know you all black pill dudes are not all like this guy. But the problem is, well, what's okay. That's more for the conclusion. I'm getting ahead of myself. All right. Luckily, I got PIP money. What is that? I don't know what PIP is. Oh, I legit have autism. I don't imagine my shock. Which I should have. He's saying his mom. Now, well, he gets absolutely no sympathy from me, as his own mother was one of the casualties of his own nihilistic victim mindset. Yeah, I don't have any sympathy for this guy, Nemesis. I really don't. I do have some for some of these black pill guys who are pretty much normal guys, but you're stuck in the black pill. I don't know. You're addicted to those chemicals, guys. It's what you don't realize when you go on these live streams to commiserate with other black pill guys. You don't even realize you're basically addicted to those chemicals that your brain releases when you're dealing with all this fucking negativity. You're shooting yourself in the foot, so to speak. All right. Now, of course, they're going to try to shit on libertarians and Donald Trump and all this garbage. I mean, lefty scums are just losing their mind over this. And I agree about people getting killed and this guy, doing what he did, being fucked up, and rightly people should be upset, but they immediately try to take it to, politics and say, oh, it's Trump's fault, or it's America's fault, or it's libertarian philosophy. Anyways, that's another thing to rant about. Mass shootings are a new phenomena that cannot be directly blamed on guns. He's actually right about that. Which is ironic. Look, I don't want to read all this. This is a lot more writing than I expected, but this guy obviously was not living in the same reality that the rest of us live. I mean, he compared life to a Terminator movie where everything is rigged against you. There's no hope for humanity. Where do you think he would get this kind of idea from? Do you think that the red pill would have taught him this? Anyhow, boy, when you look at some of the stuff he says, it sounds very familiar. Like some of the stuff I see you guys in your videos and live streams talking about. Now I'm so beaten down and defeated by fucking life. That drive that I once had has gone. Mine has gone. I meant to do a separate video about this, guys, but you can't. Just don't give up. That's the only real way to be a true loser, is to give up. Every time life knocks you down, you have to stand up. If you decide to lay down or you decide to do something disgusting like this freak did, you are a loser and you deserve to be called one. I'm rather aggravated, guys. That's why this is a bit of a clusterfuck, but I wanted to at least cover it. The autism thing. I know several people who are extremely autistic, and that's also kind of a cop out. Yes, I know it's kind of a disability. It's something you have to work through, but I know a couple of people who are very high on the autism spectrum, and they, for the most part, have overcome that. They had to work at it. Yep. Keyword work. And look at how he's talking about himself. I've heard some of this very similar talk being thrown around by black pill people. He says he's still in the same house, same situation, same position. He's saying he's still a virgin, fat, ugly, whatever you want to call it. There's one thing to be real about yourself or your situation, and to, obviously you don't want to go into some weirdo fantasy where you think everything is great, but it's another to just like dwell on it. So you have to take action. There has to be a plan of action. You have to set goals, and maybe it's a very great goal, but you take steps to get to that great goal, smaller goals, and each one in progression until you finally reach your final goal. But if you're just going to wallow in your misery and watch black pill shit, which again, some of the stuff I agree with when it comes to physical features being more attractive than others. I think they're right about that, obviously. But some of the other stuff you guys talk about, like, or when you're wallowing in your misery, it's not productive. It doesn't help you any, other than you getting a little high in your brain. It doesn't help you any. And then you never know if you have freak shows like this Jake Davison guy among you who are eventually going to do this type of shit. And I'm not saying that you made him do it, but you sure as hell didn't help nothing. All right, we're just going to look at the other one. We're going to look at the other article because we need to keep going forward. I don't want to sit here and rant. All right, I believe these are some of the people. Now, if you're going, let me say something else real quick. If you're going to come here and you're going to downvote my shit and you're going to, talk shit, and you don't feel anything for the people on this screen, then you are a fucking freak. And maybe you are getting into that terrorist spectrum there. I'm not saying you're terrorist. I know there's always some fucking moron that wants to take something someone said out of context. But my point is, if you don't have any empathy for these people, then there really is something wrong with you. It's just weird that you, and again, not all of you, but if this applies to you, let me say that. If this applies to you, you know who you are. All right? You can't be whining and crying and wanting empathy for yourself but feel none for others. That makes you kind of, what does that make you? Like a psychopath, right? Something along those lines. This is probably going to repeat a lot of the same bullshit, but this guy killed his own mom, and then he went out and killed a bunch of other people, and then he killed himself. There it is right there. What I think is interesting is they don't say what type of firearm he had. They keep talking about firearms licenses. I'd like to know okay, if it has possession of a shotgun. Sorry about that. I didn't disconnect. It was just that it was getting a little noisy around here. Neighbors making a racket. All right, so he had a shotgun. Okay. And here's another thing. Now, I hate the idea of like ratting on somebody, but if you legitimately think that someone is actually mentally ill, I know like we make a lot of insensitive jokes, and I do not believe in like censorship or anything like that. I am a very freedom minded person. But if you actually think like, because when someone's crazy, they usually don't hide it. Uh, yeah, I mean, he could have gotten a haircut, for instance, would have helped him out. Nemesis, you're right. Um, and here's another thing that I will disagree with when they talk about these guys. A lot of these guys, they're not misogynists. All right, I don't think most of the black pill guys are misogynists, at all. In fact, the thing they hate on or blame the most when they're not trying to accuse red pill guys of grifting them and whatnot, they actually hate themselves, particularly their own genetics, um, which is not something you can control. None of us can control, the circumstances of our birth and what genetics we received. And I get that. I understand that completely. So I am going to disagree with that. And I don't think most of them really blame their sexual failings on women either. To be fair, again, they blame it more on their own genetics. And, I've seen some of these guys, refer to themselves as subhumans and things like that. they're not they're not saying shit uh, about women per se, other than pointing out what women prefer. Okay. All right. So let's take a look now at who this guy was subscribed to. And I actually am subscribed to some of these channels myself, which is funny because he seems to have picked a lot of the better gun channels. Hickok 45, I actually met him before. He's one of the, if not the biggest gun channel on YouTube. But and some of the political channels I also personally subscribe to as well. But I think it is weird that there's a lot of like American politics and gun stuff in here for someone from the UK. It strikes me as odd, to say the least. And of course, it gives the fuel for the lefty scums to come after and blame any of these people on the list, including the black pill guys. I'm not saying they did it, but definitely, let's just say you can be a bad influence. So he subscribed to a lot of people. I don't know how he has time to watch all these. So there's our first black pill clips. All right. I almost missed it before, but I like Military Arms channel. It's a great channel. Squatting Slav, good content. Let's see here. And there's the one that everybody's accusing of being the problem. Incel TV. Everybody's trying to say it's his fault. I'm not saying it's his fault. I'm saying the way your message is presented and you're not presenting any alternatives or anything to live for. Although I will when we get there, I'm getting ahead of myself again. Let me try to collect myself here. All right, so that's 2 black pill channels so far. mean, the way that this is like conservative guns and, but not too many red pill channels. There are a couple though. I don't know, man. Okay, and let me know if I miss anything, you guys watching. For the firearms blog, good channel. All right, CBP. There's another big black pill channel. What I will say about CBP, you're definitely wrong about Crowton T, but he did do a video called, it was something along the lines of getting away from black pill nihilism. And I have heard him speak with Thinking Ape before. Still, he kind of pushes the black pill. He pushes the black pill thing. Had a count of how many there was actually was in RA. I think it's funny that lefty scum still act like the NRA is doing anything. Well, that's a topic for another day again. The autistic black pillar. There's another one. Mark Dice. Cool dude. Alright, Nemesis says, I suspect that dude practically lived on the internet with all those channels he is subscribed to and spent very little time actually living in the real world. Might be wrong though. No, I mean, in the article it does say that he's basically living off a disability, not doing anything with his life, and had autism. And so, I mean, he really was, I don't know if he lived in a basement, but he just wasn't doing anything productive with his life. And he just sounds like he sat indoors and did next to nothing and never went out. And this is why I tell you guys to go outside, get in the sun, get into nature. There was probably about 5 or 6 black pill channels on the whole thing. I'm really surprised that a couple of particular channels didn't show up. It really shocked me, but we'll get to that. Wheat Waffles, who I actually seen do a stream with the red pill guy, and it was a good stream. It was interesting. So no hate towards Wheat Waffles. You know, he kind of does push the lookism thing. I don't think he's out there telling people to rope or it's over, bro, or that bullshit. You know, just being fair. Alright, I may have missed some of them. Black pill tree videos, I don't know why the picture isn't there. Based Tyrone. Some of these are very obscure. But okay, I think we've reached the end. So I'm actually really surprised about which 2 channels didn't come up on this list. Now, can you guys guess which ones I would have fully expected on here? I'll give you just a second to respond. I'm surprised. Yeah, go ahead, Nemesis. Oh, look. MGTOW Dictionary Reborn is here. All right, audience. Whose channels are you surprised aren't on this list? One of them's already referenced in the chat there. All right, time's up. I don't have the Jeopardy music ready to queue up, but time is up. And I'm going to tell you, yes, MGTOW Dictionary and Face and LMS. And I actually think Face and LMS is a nice guy. You know, but there's just something. Grizzly Rising says, how's the tomato gardening going? MGTOW Dictionary Reborn. Yes, the tomato farmer and Face and LMS. Which again, it's not that these individuals are, well, MGTOW Dictionary is a bad person, but not all the people, the black pill channels that we reference here are necessarily bad people. It's just that if you keep pushing negativity and you know, if you're pushing that, it's over bro shit. And that's all someone like this guy sees every day. And you don't give people, you know, any ideas about, well, okay, so maybe you might not ever get a girl. But, you know, life isn't just about getting a girl. There's more to life than that. He says, please don't bring up my tomato farm. He's crying. Oh, yeah, must have died. Not quite the green thumb we thought you were, huh? But yes, I would recommend that you maybe change your message just a little bit. Otherwise, this, you know, black pill guys are terrorist thing is gonna grow, and you guys aren't gonna like what happens. You know, like I said earlier towards the beginning of this stream, I'm saying this for your own good, not just my personal opinion. And again, you never know if some mentally disturbed person is consuming your content, takes it to heart, and does fucking disgusting shit. Now, obviously, I understand that you're not directly responsible for anything a particular individual does. So that's why I'm not gonna, you know, go too ham on you. But do remember what you put out into, you know, the internet space can affect people. And this is also, let me also say this. One of the dangers of you guys doxing people, those of you, not everybody, not all the black people, but not black people, black pill people, let me be clear. You guys doxing people's family members and shit, names, addresses, and all that stuff that you do, because when you do that, you never know if some fucking deranged individual is going to decide to do what this guy did. You know, what would you guys do if some of these people, the red pill grifters, whose family members information you put out, if one of your black pill brothers did something like this, would you feel bad? If the answer is no, yeah, you're fucking sick. And this is why I've went ham on you guys about that shit, particularly MGTOW Dictionary and some others. But that's why. Maybe you're not a freak show, but maybe this other guy, faceless guy on the internet is. Alright, I think I've run my mouth long enough. So, unless the chat has anything else they want to say, we're going to get ready to close this down. I'm going to give you just a second. Uh-oh, we just got a message from the offline thought. Talk about the comments on Incel TV. All right, we'll extend it a little longer. So give me just a second, folks. Let's find it. Let us find what we're looking for here. Now, I could have shared some screenshots of, like, say, you know, something CBP said, and he's not wrong. He did say something akin to, you know, talking about looks does not make us responsible, and I agree. All right. The only problem is I don't know which video this was that they commented on. It might have been. We have to take a guess. I don't want to like play this guy's.
I'm telling you guys, anything is possible.
Let's see what we got here. Let's see. All right, we're gonna roll with this. I'm gonna put this on the screen real quick. Because his
Telling you guys,
he should got brigaded by comments. We're just going to take a look at some of the comments here. All right, Incel TV hasn't advocated for violence one single time, and that's probably the case. I actually believe that to be true. I don't think he's advocated violence. I haven't watched it, but I doubt most normal functioning people are going to advocate for violence. Just saying. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, even though I've never seen any of his videos. Yeah. The only thing about a lot of these comments is like these are fucking, they're like faceless trolls that have opinions, basically. Kind of like most of the black pill guys. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah, remember to hit that thumbs up unless you're soft, weak. Okay, they're informing him. Yeah, that's what I was talking about from CBP. You know, discussing looks equals blood on your hands. No, but if you tell people, again, to repeat, if you tell people it's over for them because they're not 6 feet tall and they don't have the magic jawline and all that stuff, I mean, you're basically telling someone that they're just ultimately a failure and that their life has no meaning or point. So again, try to tell people to do something better with their lives. There's a lot of young, impressionable people, young, late teens, early 20s people that fucking watch your stuff. A lot of people, here's what I mean, like Michael Jordan. Right? Obviously, that's not the real one. And so a lot of how does it feel knowing you encouraged mass murder? This type of statements. All right, this guy says he's not obsessed with women and money. I accept that I will not get a supermodel, so I'll accept. I hope he's telling the truth, but I don't know. I mean, if you constantly come to black pill stuff, it usually means It usually means something. You're unhappy about not getting women. I mean, that's just how it is. Okay, that's definitely somebody being funny. Yeah, the problem again is YouTube comments are cancer. There hardly any of them are real, I would say. They've been cancer since like practically the inception of YouTube, to be fair. Grizzly Rising says the nut job that went on a rampage looks like an unkempt slob who didn't want to make any changes to up his SMV. Can't argue with that. Don't have an argument about that. This guy says every cope has an end. Red pill is the worst. I don't know. It kind of teaches people to just understand and accept women and maybe try to better their lives and live for something beyond just getting their pee-pee touched. I don't know. You tell me. Ha! This guy. How to get a girlfriend. Step 1. Get off this fucking YouTube channel. It's pretty funny. Look, I'm already out of patience, guys. All right. I just really wanted to talk about this shit for a minute, even though it's kind of not well organized. I prefer to put out stuff that's a little bit more organized, unless I'm specifically trying to be off the cuff, which I wasn't. I really thought I was going to try to be organized, but I'm kind of aggravated. There's disgusting human beings in the world, and usually it doesn't get to me that bad, but this one aggravates me. I just hate when people do such things to innocent people. It's just like, I'm not going to say that. I want to say something, but I don't want to say it. If you're ever feeling like you want to hurt somebody or go on one of these rampages, fucking don't do it. How about that? Find another outlet. And possibly, move past this black pill shit. I've talked to guys who have moved past the black pill once they realized they were being played. And that's what's happening to a lot of you guys. You're looking for a convenient excuse to not better yourself. Alright, I'm fucking done. I'm fucking done at this juncture, guys. We are going to end the stream. I've ranted and raved enough. So, until my next video or stream, we will see you guys later.